Okay, it is, okay, it's 4 minutes past 6, June 26, 2023. It's the Board of Public Works meeting, the library program room, Library Plaza. Appointment 6:15, Recreation Department and Skate Park supporters. That is put off and canceled that meeting to a future date. Okay, action items. Contract 2023-11, generator and transfer switch maintenance for water and wastewater divisions. 2, DPW costs and payments related to Chamber of Commerce Lobster Fest. 3, communication between DPW and residents / Facebook page administrator Diane Judd. New septic collar approval, Richmond Sand and Gravel. 5, contract award 2023-06, Spring Street and Furnace Brook. 3, well cleaning and pump replacement. Those are all under action items. Discussion, DPW policies update. Ms. Jordan and Mr. Shaughnessy have the thumb drives provided by the staff for the policies. Second is beach preparedness. 3, communication between DPW and residents. Vote to accept minutes. We're going to pass over those minutes. Superintendent's report. Next meeting is July 17, 2023. Just a side comment. We have something July 6th with the new building. Is that going to be a time? What are we going to do?
No, actually, July 6th was a tentative date that we'd be getting a temporary occupancy permit, but it's now been pushed out till the 24th of July.
Okay, all right. I was just thinking we might have to have a meeting prior to July 17th, but you're saying after the 24th.
Yeah, no, what's happened is, I can explain it later in my report.
Okay, okay. Do I have a second on the agenda?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, that's 3-0. Okay, so, skate park, they're not here. So we're gonna go right to action items. Is this you, Rod?
Okay.
This one's me.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Sure, so we have an existing contract for generator and transfer station transfer switch maintenance for water and wastewater divisions. That contract expires on the 30th, so this week. So it's the end of a 3-year contract, so we went out to bid again to get a new contract. The new contract again would be for all the water and wastewater generators for preventative maintenance and emergency maintenance. So we've got 18 of those generators, 8 for wastewater and 10 for water. The way we set up the contracts is they're 3-year contracts, but they're actually 1-year contracts with 2 1-year renewables. So we went out to bid and got 2 responsive bidders, FM Generator and Craft Power. FM Generator is the incumbent, they're doing it now. Craft Power did it before this last 3-year period when FM Generator had it. So both are familiar with the job. When we went out to bid, it seemed like Craft was the lower bidder. I had a table in there to kind of show the breakdown, but overall they ended up being the lowest. Talked to both water and wastewater, and they're okay with using either of the contractors. So at this point, we are recommending to have an authorization to execute the contract for the generator and transfer switch maintenance for water and wastewater divisions and give that to Craft Power of Woburn, Mass. from July 1st, 2023 to June 30th, 2024, and authorize the chairman or his designee to execute the contract when it has been prepared.
Thanks, Ken, that's very well done. Do we have any discussion, anything? Bob, do you have anything?
So we're authorizing tonight a one-year contract.
1 year, good.
So if they don't produce, we can switch.
Yeah, so the contract's written to be 1 year with 2 one-year extensions at the sole discretion of the town.
Yeah.
So if they don't produce, then it ends after a year.
So if they didn't produce, we go to the second bidder? We put it back out to bid?
I think we go out to bid, yeah.
Okay. All right, I'm good with it.
Thanks, Bob. All right, you want to make the motion?
I'll make a motion to accept the motion from Ken, motion authorize execution of contract number 2023-11, generator and transfer switch maintenance for water and wastewater divisions to Craft Power of Woburn, Mass. from July 1st, 2023 to June 30th, 2024, and authorize the chairman or designee to execute the contract when it is over. Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Ian voted aye, too.
Oh, Lobster Fest.
All right, so the number 2 is the DPW costs and payment related to Chamber of Commerce Lobster Fest. All right, I'm going to open that up to the board for comments on this action item. Do you have any comments, Ms. Jordan?
Yeah. Yeah, so we talked about this last meeting, so I've been thinking about it. And we talked about that there would be an account set up to receive payment for services. And that we would get, I think we talked about that we would get an itemized, or we would make an itemized bill and then they would need to pay it, but I'm just not comfortable with it. You know, I keep coming back to the fact that it's a commercial, Chamber of Commerce is a commercial organization, and it's a for-profit event, you know. I feel like the residents of Marshfield pay for services in their taxes and in their fees, and they don't sometimes get their services, you know, in the time that they expect them to get. So I'm not comfortable with the DPW being paid for services by a commercial enterprise that's a for-profit event. I feel like it's just not respectful to residents who have paid for those services and sometimes not gotten, or not been happy with the way they've been delivered. So I'm not in support of being involved with the Lobster Fest in any way.
Okay.
Question for clarification?
Yeah, go ahead, Bob. I was going to ask if you had any comments.
So the way we left it last time is that it would not be a cost to the town at all. That would be set up similar to what police and fire do with details. So it would be details with equipment. So we would, and it would be not on regular state time, regular town time. It would be over and above that. It'd be a separate accounting. So I thought it was a good idea because the police always have, even if they can't do it within house, they hire the sheriffs, and it's outside of town government. So I'm sort of confused with Diane's issue of not liking it. I'm not sure exactly. Some sort of as a question is like, it's outside of town government. It's not going to cost the taxpayers anything. It's a service that we're going to provide for people who go to the Lobster Fest, which it is a commercial entity, but it's really not touching any of the funding that the DPW is getting from the town. So I'm concerned about, well, we don't want to provide the service at all, or do you want us to just to do it for free? So that's my question to you.
You're asking me?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, so is it,
to clarify.
so go ahead,
Okay.
you know, so are you concerned that the DPW shouldn't be part of the Lobster Fest at all? Or are you concerned that we're charging the chamber and the Lobster Fest for services rendered by the DPW?
My issue is that I think we shouldn't be involved in it at all, because I feel like it's a point of respect for the residents. Like the police do, and fire do details,
Yeah.
but they're providing the services. People aren't waiting for the police to show up and do something for them when they call them. They're there, you know what I mean? But a lot of residents are unhappy with the way the DPW has provided services that they've paid for. I don't think you can make a comparison. You know, I feel like the Lobster Fest should hire their own company to do whatever it is that needs to get done for that event, which is a for-profit event.
So let's take it one step further. When they do the fair and all the issues at the fairgrounds, right, and the DPW, they're always looking for the DPW to either use the landfill or use the disposal facilities or something. Well, with the discussion we had last week is that we were going to establish a mechanism to allow that to happen, but it would not be on the backs of the taxpayer. Am I right, Tom?
Correct.
So it's to provide a service for a lot of the people that go to the Lobster Fest are from Marshfield. And it's usually not on during regular town work schedules. So wait till they interfere with
Yes, it is.
It's a point that I'm making.
No, I get your point.
I don't know how the fair is set up. I'm sure they have their own company that takes care of most of the needs for the fair. I mean, does the DPW handle all the trash and all the setup? and everything
Outside
for
of the
fair?
fairgrounds, all the parking facilities, we pick up the rubbish, we set up all the traffic detours.
And how do they pay for that?
They don't. That's what we developed this mechanism so we could get paid for this. Last year, we didn't do anything at Lobster Fest. They were privately paid.
Well, it should stay that way.
And that's whatever you want as a board, the vote, I'll abide by the vote. So that's my job. So if you don't like the Lobster Fest and you vote not to send people to support that, then fine. If the police request traffic details and traffic setups, I need to send that out. So why can't we be paid for that? By denying this, we won't get paid for anything. So we can at least collect on the traffic setups for the fair, the concerts, the Lobster Fest, wherever it is, wherever we need to send people to set up traffic setups. We won't, if you vote no, we will not get paid to do that. And that's what we've been fighting to do. That's what this board has asked me to do over the last 3 years. I'm finally getting there. And now you're gonna vote no against.
Well, I haven't been here for the last 3 years.
No, you
When we
haven't,
talked
no,
about
but
this-
the board.
Yeah, when we talked about it last time, I was pretty sure that you said that the fair has their own people.
They do inside. We don't do anything inside the fairgrounds. We set up all the traffic details outside the fairgrounds. We pick up all the rubbish from all the parking lots on the...
In the parking lots.
In the parking lots,
Right.
the satellite lots that the Boys and Girls Club run, the music and sports groups run from the school. We pick up that rubbish. And we don't get anything for it. We have to take the overtime and everything out of our payroll. So by having this ability to be reimbursed benefits the department as a whole. And it enables us to do the things that you're saying that people aren't happy with because of not having the ability or the funding to do that stuff.
So I guess what I need is to see an itemized list of all the services that are potentially going to be provided and what the cost is.
I don't
And what the-
have that. What I do, they don't give me an itemized list. They ask for a certain amount of people, and they ask for barrels, and they ask for traffic setups and road closures. Okay, so at the end of it, we submit a bill and get reimbursed by the chamber. That's the intent of doing this.
But that didn't happen.
We've never done it before. This is the first time we're trying to get it accomplished.
So why didn't it happen last year? Why didn't?
Because the board voted not to allow the town employees to work at Lobster Fest. So Lobster Fest hired people privately
Last year.
last year. The year before, DPW did it at no reimbursement.
And who did the traffic setup last year?
DPW. They do it all the time. For any event in town, DPW does the traffic setups along with the police department, road closures.
It's all for,
detours.
it's all for safety.
Right, I guess that I'm confused because you're saying that they hired people independently, but then you
We
say
still
that-
sent our traffic people out to work with the police, but the people that picked up the rubbish and all that were privately paid by the chamber.
inside the event.
Inside the event.
And those were DPW employees that they hired individually? Or
Some
Some of them were DPW employees.
who were the rest of them?
the ones
Private
they, the ones they
citizens,
hired,
they hired their own.
they hired their own.
So the DPW employees that worked last year were not paid by the town. They were paid by the chamber.
And you didn't get paid for the
And
traffic
we did
setup?
not get paid.
And the fair doesn't pay for the traffic setup?
No,
And they don't have a fee for trash pickup for the fair?
no.
Okay.
We
So-
don't pick up the trash in the fairgrounds,
On the outside, in the park?
only in the town parking lots.
So can I get documentation on what has been done in, like, what you would have charged for that, if you had been charging? if
I
had
can
been
give
paid?
you an hourly rate for the equipment with a driver. I can give you an hourly rate for a laborer, but I don't have any actual numbers that I can give you.
Thought you were gonna get that.
We haven't done it, so I don't have the numbers. Last year they worked privately.
Yeah, but-
I
But
can't
the
ask them for
traffic
the
setup
private.
wasn't,
The traffic setup, I can get that.
I mean, you must
information.
have records of who you paid to do that and what they did,
Oh, sure.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I would like to see that for the fairgrounds, for the fair, right? And I would like to see it for the Lobster Fest. I'm not ready to vote on.
So when you say the
this
fair,
until-
when you say the fairgrounds, do you mean the fair, the concerts?
Well, you do it for Levitate, you do it for the fair, you do it for car shows, right?
Just usually it's just the big stuff, the concerts and the fair itself.
Yeah, I'd like a list of all the events that have been going on, you know, that you've provided, that we provided traffic help and rubbish pickup for like the last couple of years. And what was entailed and, you know, how much it cost, and what you feel like they're gonna need for the Lobster Fest this year and what was provided last year. I just need to see it all. Like, I can't vote on this without knowing what it is. And if I feel like it's something I would want to support.
Yeah, good.
No, I don't want us to work for free, absolutely not. But I'm also not comfortable with the idea that residents are getting services that they expect on time, but a company can hire the department. to do it.
Can you be a little bit more specific with the
Well, we're getting-
residents'
we're getting off
complaints?
topic.
I know, but I'd like to at least be able to
She keeps
support.
mentioning
Yeah, she keeps mentioning what we're not, the services the residents aren't getting.
Well, people
Can
have
you
been
be more
complaining a lot
specific?
about the beaches, that's why that's
The
on.
beaches aren't under the DPW's control, that's what you gotta understand. The beaches are run by the police department.
No, I'm talking about
We
the
assist,
stairs.
we assist. If the beaches need the stairs in earlier, then they should hire a contractor, because it's not our responsibility. We don't get a dime for anything that we do with the beaches.
So it's
The
police-
residents have the ratepayers of the transfer station are paying for the rubbish pickup of the beaches.
No, Ken just said they weren't.
Does that come out of solid waste?
It comes out of solid
Well, that
waste.
shouldn't be. That's, you can't do that.
That's what I've been saying for years.
I've been saying it for longer than that.
All right, we don't get a dime for the beaches, but yet we're required to put the stairs in, to pick the rubbish up, to take the batter boards up, to fix the revetment. All right, we don't get any money.
But we gotta straighten this thing out. Let's go back here. Now, Ken, you said that it's coming out of the general fund, and Tom, you're saying
Well,
it can't come out of the rate base.
It is, I'm telling you.
Well, we gotta stop that right now.
Yeah,
You can't come out of the rate, you can't use that money.
I mean, we don't pay for the person, the solid waste doesn't pay for the personnel, but DPW pays for the personnel in the truck, right?
Solid waste, we've been picking it up on solid waste.
The trash does come to the transfer station and it is billed just like any other town department. So I guess we do see that at the transfer station, the beach rubbish.
You see the
I'll confirm that tomorrow.
I definitely know the trash comes into the transfer station, and we see that, yeah.
yeah. Well, it shouldn't come out of the rate base, that's for sure.
So.
It seems like there's a lot of loopholes that aren't getting paid. So I'm glad we're gonna start going over the policies and trying to fix that stuff. So I'm just not ready to vote on this, tonight until I have a better understanding of all of these things.
When is the lobster fest?
September.
Until September.
Oh, it's September.
September
Right.
16th.
We have time.
So John, you are right. I mean,
But you got Levitate coming up,
Yeah.
it just
So
happened.
the issue of setting up a fund,
But the fund,
like the police department has for details.
but it's not set up for.
I know, I understand, but I think that is a good idea. But we also need to do the things like all the beach stuff. We should be able to account for that and at least get it into the indirects as a charge back. So there should be a solid cost accounting component to all the beaches, so that when we fight for what we do for the offsets, the indirects, those are the things that we need to be pushing. Same thing like we were doing with snow and ice in the past.
Right. We
So
try-
otherwise, we end up paying, the DPW end up paying for a lot of stuff that we really shouldn't be paying for. And let's just we as a board establish a protocol, a mechanism to get paid, so that we're not using taxpayers' money for these special events, when we should be using taxpayer money to do the things we're supposed to be doing.
I agree with that.
I don't disagree with what you're saying, I just want to make sure we have the right mechanism in place.
Right.
And I'm going through these policies, as far as I'm concerned, we should just put all the policies on hold until we review them.
Well, weren't we gonna go over,
Yeah, I think so. And I think it's a great idea, I mean.
yeah,
we're
each
gonna have a
meeting, we're
discussion,
gonna
we'll
go
have a
over
discussion.
a few. So, as far as the account, has there been any movement on setting that up? And what's the
Other
status
than I
of it?
was asked for information on hourly rates, equipment costs, I gave them all that.
For who? To who?
I thought you were gonna give it, I asked you to.
No, I was asked by, I sent you that stuff. I was asked by the town administrator
Yeah.
to submit what the cost would be. You had three questions: the cost for picking up rubbish, the cost for the traffic foreman, and for what the vehicles cost.
For the Lobster Fest?
For the Lobster Fest, it was for everything.
Okay.
Not just Lobster Fest.
Did that cover the 35% plus 18?
I included that in it. I CC'd you on that,
I didn't see it.
yeah. But you had mentioned that to me about adding the administrative costs. So what I did was I factored in into the administrative cost, that 35%. So I gave them the hourly rate plus.
I didn't see, you send that again.
I'll send it again, but I CC'd you on it and I explained.
I didn't see it, so you can tell me.
Can we all get that?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay, so there's no,
Let me just add something.
oh, sorry.
Did the town administrator agree or disagree?
I haven't heard back from him.
But see, that's what we we have to know. Plus, we need that account set up so that we know, because I don't trust them. I really don't. They will say an account is set up and then all of a sudden, well, there's no account that we just can't find it. Now, that's what they do. That's exactly how they work. So we need this account set up, and we gotta have this go through our administrator of the accounts, is Mr. Bowen. Somehow, he's got to agree to where that money is going to be deposited in our account.
Sure.
Before we vote on this, either to support or not to support any more of this. Lobster Fest, Levitate, the rest of them, let them go get their own people, unless we can get compensated for it.
Well-
We're taking fees from the residents and using it illegally. It's the enterprise fund manual, you can't do that. I don't mean you, but us in general, you can't do it.
So item number 2 is not just the Lobster Fest. It's a schedule of fees in which we do for private entities that are using DPW services
Right.
in the town. So let's not get hung up on just the
Right.
chamber of Lobster Fest. We need to come up with just like we're in a construction business. We have a set of, we have a schedule of fees and labor hours and equipment, that kind of stuff. And that's what we're really looking at. So it doesn't matter if it's the Lobster Fest, if it's a skate park issue, if it's a fairgrounds issue, if it's, anything we do, at least.
Road races, there's all kinds of.
There's all kinds of races, bike races, and, it's coming through all the time. It's like, we could be spending all our tax money on all these special events and get nothing on it.
And there's more and more events too.
Right, so we need to have the mechanism, and we need to have a schedule of costs.
When we originally, when this idea came up, there was only 1 or 2 events annually. Now all of a sudden, there's 5 road races, there's concerts at the fairgrounds, the Lobster Fest, there's other things that go on. So our resources are spread really thin, and to be able to get something back in return for our services. That was the reason for this. We've been talking to the state reps and the state senator for the last 3 years on how we might be able to, maybe some type of legislation that could be passed in order to get this similar setup like police and fire have with their details. So they understand the need for it, and the entities that are putting these things on, like the chamber, like Levitate, they agree that we should be reimbursed for what we do.
They agree, but there's no account.
But there's no account set up yet.
Correct. So we need that account.
Right. Once that's in place, then we will have billable hours. For everything that we do, they will be billed for.
So that's the town administrator needs to do that. Through
It's
the town account.
through the town accountant,
And town
yes.
treasurer.
And they're working on that right now. They,
Why is it so hard?
well,
What does it take? Set up an account.
So Tom, why would it be an issue at the state level?
well, the state was thinking that in order to help to facilitate us, that by having some type of legislation that allows public works across the state to be able to do this.
Okay, so they would make it statewide.
Right,
Is it-
right, because
versus-
they see
we have home
the
rule-
issue.
We have home rule legislation that we can govern ourselves, and we can set it up ourselves.
Right, but they agree with us that it's something that everyone's dealing with, not just here in Marshfield.
Right.
How are other towns?
Others,
Yeah.
DPWs don't have this revenue.
so I have a question. Have you ever reached out to like Foxborough, where it's a stadium and all these concerts? How does their DPW deal with it?
They get in lieu of tax payment, Foxborough does, for the stadium.
Yeah, but then when they set these concerts up, and it's just traffic details and
They get
there's
a,
barriers and stuff.
they get a very large in lieu of tax payment.
No, I ain't said that's for the stadium, but all these additional services.
That in lieu of tax payment takes care of their support of traffic setups
Okay.
and road blockages and police details. The stadium pays for all of the police details, but the traffic setups, a lot of them are there of the stadiums. They hire a company that does all that. Visi Flash I've seen out there, the message boards, the sawhorses.
So maybe that was a good example, but there must be other smaller towns that have a lot of things like us, that have a lot of activities going on.
Yeah, I think coastal communities, I could reach out to different people. Boston must have some issues like that, and maybe Danvers and places like that have a lot of functions in the summertime.
Well, let me get back to this. How long have we been asking the town administrator to set up an account so that we can have something in place?
I would say for probably 2 years now, we've been asking.
So now it's
for it.
been 2 years to set up an account. And that's what this board is getting to. Just because they haven't set up the account, what assurance do we have that they will set up an account? Because we got to come to a decision. We'll put this vote off till next meeting. But if we have to, we'll just vote that we don't do anything.
So, John, we've talked about town meeting vote in the past. Sounds like a good idea to put a piece of a town meeting in the fall to establish such an account.
Yeah, you can ask for a bylaw or something.
That doesn't help us right now.
I know it doesn't help us right now, but the thing is, it does help us in the future.
The problem though is, doesn't the select board often not allow those on the warrant? That's happened, I mean,
But
tried
now-
in the past.
We can
To
thread
put-
it, and then maybe they'll set the account without going to town
We
meeting.
can do a citizen's petition on that one, that's simple. But we need this account set up. If it's not set up, then what happens?
It's not set up, we don't get reimbursed for the traffic stuff right now until, they have that account in place.
Why can't they hire a company that sets up for the
I can't, that's the police, they ask for our assistance.
Well, we could say we're not gonna give you our assistance, go hire somebody. Yeah. Simple.
Good.
I mean,
We're waiting 2
what
years.
happens if we say no? How, they have to hire someone?
Your vote
Yeah, we
will
can say.
dictate what I do.
All right,
So,
all right, so,
I mean, I don't want to, like argue with the police department, but we can't keep providing services and not getting paid because people are paying for that.
well, that's
It's not-
my
money's
been
not
my
coming out of
argument
thin
all
air, you
along. I've been arguing this.
well, could we send a letter to the town administrator stating that unless an account is set up by July 17th, that the board is gonna vote that we provide no services?
We can do that, and I'll have you sign it.
I will sign it.
Okay.
And
Are you all right with that?
can you give a list of everything that's provided for Levitate, because that's coming up?
Well,
So
it's
you've probably already
it's
committed
everything.
to that.
It's the fair, it's the beaches, it's,
Yeah, but
it's
Levitate's
everything.
coming up like
It's not
right
just
now.
all, it's not,
It's everything.
it's provide, DPW services are provided.
Yeah, Levitate is
Everything.
happening before our next meeting, I believe, right?
It's this week, no.
Yeah, it's
Happening
Tenth.
June,
Next week.
It's next
I
week.
think it is.
Yeah, so I mean,
10th of July.
Yeah.
it's probably too late for them to hire a company that, I mean, I wouldn't want to do that to
I
them.
mean, they've been meeting
you know?
for months, on a monthly basis, they meet on Levitate. It's been going on for months, they get everything in order, detours, and traffic setups.
Right, so we can't pull out of that at the last minute, that would be terrible.
Yeah, but we can't pull out on all the other ones.
But you can create a spreadsheet of everything that was provided and what costs should be.
I can give you, like I said, hourly rates or.
You already have it, though.
equipment. We have, yeah.
Just send that email out.
Yeah.
So could we, create a bill?
We don't know how many hours they're gonna work.
No, I understand, but could we keep it, we have a, bill, get it to Levitate and enforce the issue and create an account? Here's a bill, here's a check.
Yeah, right, where are you gonna put it, exactly?
They'll put it back in general fund.
They'll find.
Well, we can have them hold their payment until it's set up, but at least they can be billed.
They can't dedicate any money to anywhere within the general fund.
No, I don't think you meant that.
No, I meant if we provide them with a bill to be paid once the account is set up. Once an account
Levitate,
is set up.
not the
So
town.
they have,
So either they set up the account or let them go higher, they won't be.
Okay.
And we'll continue this discussion to the next meeting. Oh, go right ahead.
Pam Krista, 60 Central Street. I'm stunned to hear that taxpayers are paying for levitate cleanup and people can't get roads repaired, they can't get drainage, and we're paying for these free events. You guys say you don't have money, which you probably don't, it's not your fault, but you're doing free things for these people making thousands and thousands of dollars, and you're doing it for free?
That's what we find
I
out.
am stunned to find that out. And so if the police are asking you to do the job and they have a fund, then you pay us out of your fund until we get ours set up. And maybe that'll motivate the town administrator to get the account set up quicker, because if you don't do the work that the police are asking you, you can say, then give us money out of your account, here's the bill, this is what we're charging for what you're asking for us. If we don't have our account set up to get it from whoever we're supposed to be paying, then you'll be paying us. They're the ones asking you, they're hiring you, so why wouldn't they be paying you? They have the funds, you shouldn't be doing this for free, and I shouldn't be footing the bill for levitate, and the tickets are $300 a day. It's insane.
Right. So are we comfortable with sending a letter to the town administrator to set up?
I'm comfortable about trying to move the needle towards something that we get reimbursed.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
We set up an account.
Right.
Either he sets up an account,
So establish what needs
or
to be
we're not
done.
gonna do any work.
Look, I mean, maybe we need to have town council weigh in on it if it's a legal issue, to make sure we do it right. But I want to have a mechanism to not pay for things that the taxpayers should not be paying for.
We need an account set up.
It shouldn't be taking 2 years, they're just gonna keep delaying it and delaying it. That's 2 years, come on.
what's the next event after levitate? The fair? The next
Fair's
big
in
one,
August, the
probably?
end of August, there's probably another concert or
August
two.
28th, is not 18th.
There's car shows, there's all kinds of things.
There's an Irish
Yeah, but car
thing,
shows is
there's a
something
fiddle
only-
fest,
They,
there's plaid concert, there's.
So we need an account. can
We do.
just keep-
We do.
It doesn't matter what it is, that the account is prime. We want to, are you comfortable sending a letter to the town administrator,
Yes.
set up the account, or we're not going to do this work for free, period? You
It's
comfortable?
really the traffic setup, because I mean, you can't not empty trash barrels,
Wait a minute,
right?
let them set up their own traffic. That can happen. They just
Yeah, no,
hire
that's
their own
right.
people.
But the trash barrels are already there, right? In the- Are they already there, or do they get set up, Tom?
Trash barrels are everywhere for the beach.
In the parking lots, I mean,
The
like,
trash barrels are out by Memorial Day.
they're all out, they're all already out.
So we have to look into that, because that's an illegal use of the ratepayers' money. It has to benefit these solid waste program, or we can't spend that money. So somehow we gotta look in, you're right, Bob, we do that on indirects.
To that end,
Yes.
but we need to have a tight accounting, cost accounting.
Correct. So, Ken, could you?
Yep, we can look at that.
There's a lot of loose ends in this whole thing.
We need that account. If not, we'll discuss that. Are you comfortable with that for the next meeting, to put this off till the next meeting?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
So
we'll-
let's just change what number 2 is. DPW costs and payments relating to activities, events outside of DPW services, out of regular DPW activities.
Correct.
So that covers everything.
Yeah. Okay. Are you comfortable with that?
So we're not voting on this, but
No.
you're gonna get the letter, May.
Correct.
Okay.
All right. You want to go on to number 3? Everybody comfortable with number 2?
Sure.
All right. Number 3, communication between DPW and residents, Facebook page administration. Ms. Jordan, that's yours.
Right. So, thanks. Were you able to read my
Yeah.
little proposal? It's, so I wasn't gonna read the whole thing, that's why I sent it.
No, we got it.
You did it,
We
okay.
get it.
All right, so you're gonna set up a meeting.
First, let me just, I have some information here that I'd like to share with the board. It's the town's social media policy and also the recommendation of town council. There's a fine line with an elected official being an administrator with a town website. The possibility of open meeting law violation is very critical. Any type of opinion on any of any discussions with the board that is put on the Facebook could be construed as an open meeting violation. So town council recommends that it should only be a staff employee, that's the administrator. But a liaison from the board would be good. And your recommendations, which you sent to me in that email, I think are unbelievable. I'm not a Facebook person. I don't deal with it. I look at what I have to. I post what I have to on that, but I'm not a regular person on Facebook. So having someone like yourself who does it on a professional level, I think would be beneficial to the department. But as an administrator, I don't think that's a good idea.
I do, though.
That's fine. And again, whatever you vote,
Oh, well.
I will abide by.
I'm just making.
But I'm just telling you
I know what you're
that
doing.
it should be staff that administers the Facebook page.
See, we could,
It's not a DPW commissioner's Facebook page, it's a town of Marshfield DPW department's Facebook page.
so what the commissioner would be posting, I would understand, would be from what the staff wants posted. You're not gonna, I don't doubt that you're gonna post your own opinions or anything.
No, and I'm not saying that, I'm just saying there's a fine line. If someone comments on a discussion that was within the board, could be construed by somebody as a violation of the open meeting law.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not saying that that's why you want to use it.
Yeah,
No, what I'm saying is it makes sense to have a staff person run it. We have an IT person. That IT person should be the one that is making the, is adding the content through the DPW director, superintendent, and a liaison of the Board of Public Works.
I think, definitely want to read this stuff, but also,
none of this applies. This is all finished.
yeah, I mean, I do want to read it. But I also don't want to, like, freeze anybody out if they want to be a part of it. And I don't know how busy the IT people are, or person is, and if they're going to have the time
They will have the
to,
time, that's one of the reasons they want.
it does take a lot of time, you know?
We're
But
not
nothing's happening
We're
now,
not
and it really needs to,
responding
yeah.
to Facebook people. We're putting out posts, updating people on projects, trash delays. We're not running back and forth.
Right, there's a
in
way to set up the
conversations.
page.
We already did that.
Right,
It is set up.
right.
There's no comment.
Yeah, that doesn't need to be.
Right.
That's not what I'm looking,
Right.
not looking for commenting on there.
Right,
Absolutely not. It's for information sharing.
yes.
Right,
And I
so,
think those examples that you put down in that email are great.
right,
And that would be very beneficial to the department. So I would think staff should run it, that's only my opinion. And I don't think that a member of the board should be involved in the daily operations
as far as actually posting on it.
of posting, right?
Yeah, I mean, I asked for that because I don't know what, you said you had a consulting firm that did it, so,
That set it up, that ran
You
it
know,
for the
they-
first 6 months
Right.
until our IT person was in place.
mhm,
Now we have that person in place, so that person in July will take over the duties as the administrator of the DPW Facebook page.
okay. And do they have any thoughts on what to do with that page or how to use it more
Well,
effectively?
that was the whole idea of getting the consultant on board to show us what to do and how to do it and to assist us for the first 6 months.
Mhm.
That's why we hired the consultant. So that person will translate all of that information to our administrator
Right.
and assist with that.
Okay, so yeah, so then what I'd like to do is meet with the
Yes, I'm gonna say
IT
that.
person, and see if we can come up with a way to make these ideas, and I have
On
other
Facebook.
ideas,
On
have
Facebook.
for Facebook, right.
Yeah, and-
I don't need to, I mean, I'm not looking to, be the person who does all of the posting. That, I didn't know what mechanism was set up, and just that you have to be an administrator to be able to post.
Sure.
So that's why I phrased it that way, but
Yeah,
the
no,
point
but,
really is the ideas that I have and
oh, definitely.
what I want to
And-
see on that page.
And like town council had said, that maybe like a liaison would be a better fit, having a member of the board as a liaison to the social media platform to assist and make recommendations.
Oversee it.
I
Right.
mean, as long as they're gonna actually
Well, the
do
DPW's director
them.
will oversee it.
Well, after you meet with the consultant, I gotta ask a question. When did this happen with this consultant? I don't remember
You
anything.
voted on it,
Yeah, well,
Ah,
Yeah.
2021. it says.
21, we voted on it,
we did.
environmental partners.
Our environmental partners.
Yeah, we had talked about it kicking off the previous year, but didn't get the funding. We had to wait for the funding.
How much funding do we have?
It was, I think it was $34,000.
Yeah, it's expensive.
Do you want, would you like to be the liaison?
Yeah, I think I wanna,
Could-
yeah,
could we-
I think we're gonna set up a
All
meeting
right, so
and then,
we can appoint you, Bob, are you comfortable with that, appointing Diane as the liaison for the meeting with the consultant?
I don't have a problem with that.
Okay.
I'd like
I have
to,
a comment though.
yeah,
I know, I work for Mass DEP, and basically, web pages and things that go out on social media and that kind of stuff is well vented before it goes out, because of risk communication, and things that we deal with on a day-to-day basis. And our public affairs people, have to vent every single thing that goes out, because, once the horse leaves the barn, it's tough pulling the horse back. So, even if an IT person it would be great, but it's really, an IT person is really not a public affairs, press release type of person. So we really have to be careful of what we put on the web.
Not the web, the Facebook. We're not using the web.
Well, the Facebook is the web.
I know what you're saying.
And the thing is, we have to be careful. So if you have more experience on that, I'm all for it. I mean, I think that, Sean Patterson was here. He used to do a DPW Facebook page when he needed to have snow emergencies, or this road was gonna be closed because we do that. And even my wife got, the Facebook, she was on that Facebook, she would get it, and it helps me, it's a good way of communicating. But it's a good way of communicating, as long as it's within limits. it's not a bitching session, is really what I don't
No,
want to do.
what we have here is pretty much just a platform to get notices out, let
Right.
people know that there's a water main we're paving in this part of town. Your rubbish is delayed a day. Little things like that, projects, you know. People, the thing with Sean, when he had his Facebook set up, he gave it up because of the negativism. And he didn't want to deal with it. He shut it off. And that was the end.
Well, he was
what
allowed
we-
to comment.
Well, he allowed it. We don't.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
We don't.
So what I'm thinking is, we hired this consultant to do a webpage, and that everything should be go to the webpage. So if there's anything that's on Facebook, it should just refer it to the webpage.
I disagree.
No, we don't need a website.
You don't even need a website. I mean, there's no reason to have a website anymore. If, that was my other question I was gonna ask. If, you know, you have a website and a Facebook page, and then you have a town website, it's very redundant. You don't need the DPW website. You can post any documents that
And we don't need
are gonna
the,
be,
but I think by having the website, you can link everything together.
right. So the purpose of a website is to drive traffic
Right.
to a business, basically, or to provide information. So nobody goes to the website, really. There, you know what I mean? Like, people are gonna see timely posts on the Facebook page, or if they're not on Facebook, their neighbors are gonna tell them. But nobody's really going to the website, because websites are really to sell, you know, a business. They're not really to provide information in a like timely manner.
I think the town's website provides a great amount of information.
Yeah, but we have a town website with the
Right.
DPW page.
Yeah.
So, but there's a separate DPW website also.
There's a trash website, and then there's the DPW website, which is linked to the town's
Yeah,
website.
it's just, it's redundant, and it's a waste of money, really. Because anything can be put on the town website that you want. Like, the website should be for storing documents that people want to go and look at the design for something, or whatever, you know, documents you want to have on there that are available for residents to see. And the Facebook page is a communication vehicle for you know, timely front and center stuff. So there's no need to pay for 2 websites in addition to the Marshfield Town website. I think a lot of people don't even know that DPW and the trash even have a website, because nobody's paying attention to that. They'll look at the Facebook pages, because it's quick, they're gonna see it, and if they follow it. You have to actually go to a website. It doesn't just come up on your feed when you're looking at your phone in the morning, or whatever. You know, whereas, oh, no trash pickup today is gonna come up on your Facebook page, but people are gonna have to manually go
webpage.
to a website to find
We
something.
put it on the webpage, we put it on the Facebook
Right.
page when the rubbish is delayed, or the holiday, or whatever.
I see a lot of people looking for information that's not being posted, but that'll change, because I'm hopefully gonna help that. But what I'm saying is that the cost for running 2 websites from this department, that money's being wasted. You could just consolidate it all in a Facebook page, and then whatever documents you want to store and have always available, go on the DPW page on the town website, which is what people know, that there's a town website. You know what I mean? Like, you're not, if I search Marshfield DPW, it's not gonna come up like immediately, probably. Oh, here's a website, oh, I'm gonna go there. Like, it's not an effective vehicle for communication, and those websites are a waste of money. You can use the town website.
I disagree. I think we have a website, it's from the town, we have an official website for DPW, official website for solid waste. I think that that is the official component. A lot of people are really disheartened with Facebook because of all the negative feedback, back and forth.
Yeah, but
And a
we're
lot
not
of
gonna have
people get
comments.
disgusted.
You're not gonna have comments.
So the bottom line is that we need to be consistent with everything else in the town. And that if we want to use a Facebook page so that people can be notified in a timely manner to be directed back to the website, I think it's money well spent.
It's cumbersome. People don't want to go searching around in different websites. But then you also have town hall tidbits. So anything that is,
But,
really kind of coming up,
it's-
people will read that newsletter.
I disagree.
Well, I agree with Diane.
Yeah, I mean, I do feel like I have a little bit more social media and technical knowledge.
Can I make a
So
comment?
you're gonna
Yeah.
meet with,
Yeah, please.
I think
Sure.
that town website basically is horrible. Somebody has
Well,
to fix it.
yeah.
It's not a good vehicle to find out information. If you look at other towns, specifically Situate and Plymouth, which I'm hooked up to, I love their websites. They have the front page, they got information. Oh, we've got this horrible website. I don't know why we have it. It doesn't compare to the other towns, it's useless.
People do complain about the town website being difficult to use and difficult to find stuff, but
That's true.
we don't have any control over that, unfortunately. But we can provide a lot of information through a Facebook page.
I agree.
And even people who don't go on Facebook will, the information will be shared, and then whatever, you can put it on the DPW page on the town website.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't, force people to receive information, but you can, provide every way you
It's a
can.
computer. I mean, the bottom line is a computer. It's only as good as how it's managed. It's only good as how it's being presented. It's only good as how often the web pages are being replenished and updated. If it is, and basically, I'll get back to public affairs and press secretaries. That's what their function is. The town doesn't have anything like that. Nothing. So that's the reason why we have a lousy webpage.
Well,
Because it's not in someone's direct responsibility to do that.
you can certainly ask the IT person to look at the hits on the DPW website and see how often people are actually going there. And that might give us a better idea if it's really worth the money. I mean, I know you gave me the cost for the setting up the Facebook page, but I had no idea what the cost was. I mean, there's an ongoing cost for web hosting, so that's an
I
ongoing
think the
thing.
town has, they run their own.
It depends on
Well, what do we
it depends
pay
on
for?
who's hosting it.
No, I didn't mean the town. We have another website.
The DPW and
We
the
just
track
have the
both have
DP
websites.
Yeah, the DPW, and I think it's just all piggybacked on the towns.
On the town,
Right.
.org.
So
Right.
do you know what
Yeah,
the
I wanna
cost of
know
that
that.
is?
I'll find out what the
Yeah.
cost is.
So
What's the cost to maintain it, who does it,
Right.
who's the webmaster, who makes sure how often they update it.
And are we getting charged for it?
Right, I know Debbie runs her own for solid waste, she has her own private one.
Isn't that a Facebook page?
That's a Facebook.
It's a Facebook page, yeah.
But
So she runs that.
Yeah.
She does her own Facebook, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what we want to do.
Well, that's what
I mean,
we
I don't
do.
care, trust me, I don't wanna be responsible for a Facebook page. I just wanna be able to provide the type of information that people need and also create a relationship with residents, with stuff, like I described in that letter to, make us make the whole department people to the people that
Sure.
we're
I mean,
are
we've
paying our
got our
salaries.
brands on that, we worked on developing brands, services from each department that we offer. each division, I should say. But those, I mean, continuing to build on it is, I think, key. Having you as the liaison, I think, would work great.
Well, let's start with that,
Start with the liaison.
set up the meeting,
meeting.
and, so we don't have to vote on this either.
No, then we can go the next
This
meeting.
vote too.
We can have it on the next meeting in July, what you found out,
Mhm.
what's going on. Okay. You comfortable with that?
Yeah. Oh,
Well, I'm just wary that we don't want to go down the road we don't want to. But I think, I agree that it should be redundancy. I think that we need to kind of go slow with it before we get,
Yeah, that's what we're doing.
that's okay, so we'll do fact finding.
Yeah.
Do
We'll
the
work
fact
on it.
finding, figure out what the costs are, what's the pros and cons, who's gonna do it. Like I said, this is like a computer, garbage in, garbage out, and we just don't wanna be caught, letting the horse out of the barn before we get ourselves in trouble.
I'll set up a meeting with Diane, the consultant, the IT, and myself, and we can.
We'll discuss it next week. You comfortable? You good?
yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
let's move on. Everybody comfortable with that?
Yeah. I'll be here Monday.
All right. New septic hauler approval, Richmond Sand and Gravel Inc. Oh, yeah, that's just,
Richmond Sand and Gravel, everything's been checked out, Clint has signed off on it. Jeremiah Richmond from Richmond Sand and Gravel, so the board, the department has nothing negative to say on the applicant.
that sounds good. Okay. I doubt there's any discussion, but if there is, are we comfortable with this? It's all signed off.
Yep, it's all good.
All right, Bob?
All right,
All right, I'll make the motion. The Board of Public Works votes to approve the septic hauler permit for Richmond Sand and Gravel Inc. for 2023 and authorize the chairman to sign the permits as approved. Do I have a second?
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That's 3-0. Okay, contract award 2023-06, Spring Street and Furnace Brook 3, well cleaning and pump replacement. Is that you, Rod?
Yes, it is.
Hi.
We got 2 bids. Sorry. No, second. We had 2 bids we received back in March, and the prices were higher than what we had allotted for, or had funding in place. So we went to town meeting and got approval for additional funding, and asked the low qualified bidder to hold his bid price, and he did. So we're asking the board to award the contract to provide the well cleaning and pump replacement for both the Spring Street and First Well number 3 for an amount of $114,625. And DLR they've worked for the town in the past. They have the capability. This company was taken over a couple of years ago, I think, by Weston & Sampson. They're the parent company, but it's still Dennis Elmore, and our water supervisor is familiar with their work, so he has no problem with it. And so we recommend that we award this contract to the low bidder for the $114,625.
So that's a division of Weston Sampson.
Yeah, they have an operations division, and they bought them out.
So why isn't it the lowest bidder, under 35?
Low bid is 114.
114.
Oh, I'm sorry, all right,
I
okay.
have 120.
I got it, my bad. Okay,
So Rob, what is Mara Services? They were both the same company and they kind of split up?
I think they're related, but they're not the same company.
Yeah, okay.
There's been 2 Mars been working on, competing against each other for a while.
Okay. family thing.
Okay, who wants to make the motion?
I'll make it.
All right, go ahead.
I'll make the motion to award contract 2023-06, the redevelopment of the Spring Street Well and Furnace Brook Well Number 3, and the replacement of pumping units to Dennis L. Marr, Division of Western Sampson, CMR Incorporated, in the amount of $114,625, and that the chairman designated will sign the contract when the documents are prepared. Do you have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thanks, Rob. Okay, next item is just a discussion, DPW policy update. We received thumb drives from the assistant, Dan Bowen.
I'm going to review them.
What?
20 minutes or 10.
So those are the updates up to, I believe, up to current. So you can plug it in and look at them, and you're doing good, Ian. Okay. So I don't have any comments, I'm just going to look at the updates, and, but if the other commissioners have any comments, go right ahead.
I have a comment on it.
Go ahead.
I mean, you brought up some of the policies that are 23 years old the last time. It's like, and we got to be more current with this.
Well,
And I think that, you know, it should almost be like a moratorium on all the policies until we actually review them and update them.
well, the one in 2005 is for the water restrictions. I mean, all I did is go and look at the thumb drive that Mr. Bowen passed out a number of years back. I didn't say we were going to go back to 23 years, but 2005 was the water restriction.
Well, that's my instant that part. I mean,
So some of them are there, some of them are old.
some are very important.
Yeah.
I agree. Some are very important, and some may be too trivial to carry on. So that's why the last time I talked about it, it's like we should take all the policies related to cemeteries,
Well, you can
ball fields, the water, sewer, trash, and just take each division and look at those policies and kind of like, this still makes sense. This maybe need to be modified and modernized.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what we're doing.
How many are on this one?
Yep, excuse me on this. If you go and look at it, when you plug it into your computer, it gives you all the years, and then the last item on that list, you click on it, and it gives you all the policies for the different divisions. So we could go through it pretty quick, or you could do it on your own and bring back the ones that don't apply. That's what I was planning on doing, just
Right.
looking at it on my own and saying, well, 2002, this policy XYZ doesn't apply anymore. So we discuss it and get rid of it or modify it. But we can't, sit at this meeting and start to discuss every single one. We'll be here for years.
Right, it's going to take more than one meeting.
Some pizza.
It's going to take more than one meeting. Well, do you know how many policies are on there? Does anybody know? Hundreds. Nice, okay.
Yeah, but
It
it's
doesn't
easy.
work when I plug it
It's
in.
easy, Diane. It's
There's
easy to go
a,
through.
Yeah, that's
it's everything.
It'll take a little bit of
It's
time.
easy to go through.
Maybe we can come back with like
I think we should do,
1 through 10 or
well, I think that we
something.
should do by division.
Division makes more sense,
Okay.
if you start with, say, cemetery trees and greens, that may be one of your biggest rules and regs, policies, could very well be your biggest one if you start with that first.
Get that out of the way
Get
first.
it out of the way.
They're easy to find.
Yeah.
I've been through them. You click on it, you find anything you want.
So our homework will be
Yeah.
to
But it's
read
easy.
all the cemetery trees and green
Yeah,
policies. and
I
then-
look at this as a several month issue.
Yeah, it's gonna go on for a while, for sure.
But it's an educational issue.
Yeah. Oh, I'm psyched, I'm looking forward to it.
So,
All right, we'll move on for several months of meetings.
I actually am.
All right, let's just move on.
And then some.
Right.
So will we
Well,
do?
Once you
with
plug,
next-
once you plug it into your ear, you'll find out.
Right, so we'll come back at the next meeting
You
and
don't have to be skeptical.
we'll send
Well,
Anne
why
Marie
does it-
whatever
I
ones
think
we wanna.
If you're gonna
discuss.
look at cemeteries first, maybe prior to the next meeting, let Anne Marie know that you've got through them all. You
Okay.
may need a little bit more time.
Okay,
So why don't we
Very
wait?
easy, though. So,
all right.
Mr. Chairman, if I may.
Yeah.
Mr. Commish, Mr. Bezovich has a question.
Would it be opening a can of worms to express the thought? Is there any room for the public in this kind of review?
Not at this time, because you don't know what we're doing.
We don't even know what's on, I don't even know what's on it.
I don't know if maybe the public had comments on policies.
Well, when we're at a meeting and discussing something, casual,
Yeah.
public can weigh in.
Yeah, well, because we're gonna come back and we're gonna discuss the cemetery, we'll do cemeteries, trees and greens first. Bob? Yeah, I think that's a good
Why don't we do
idea.
water, sewer, and trash first? Do the enterprise first. If we're gonna be coming up with, indirects and everything,
Indirects, yeah.
those are the ones that are critical, we're gonna have to negotiate with the selectmen on the indirects. So I think we should do the enterprise ones first.
They're pretty simple to find. so.
All right.
Okay, so enterprise
Not brain surgery.
policies first, and then we'll email Anne Marie anything that we want to discuss at the next meeting, any particular
Yeah.
policies that we want to discuss.
Well, the next meeting is July 17th.
Yeah.
I apologize, I can't be here, my wife's on vacation.
Oh,
And
no.
if I'm here, I'll be divorced.
Bring her.
No, thank you.
Bring her. Okay.
Well, we'll discuss it. Okay, let's move on. You all set? Beach preparedness. Number 2, discussion.
Yeah.
What's up?
Well, I put this on, okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so I wanted some clarity around what the DPW does to prepare the beaches, because there was so much,
Flack.
flack, good word, about the stairs being put in, and there still is, and I'm still getting messages about various stairs with pictures of stairs that are kind of a mess. So I wanted some clarity on if there's a set schedule during the winter to fix any stairs that might be broken. Is that the DPW's responsibility to do it? If it isn't, whose is it? Is there a set schedule when trash barrels get put out, when stairs are repaired if they need repairing and put in for each beach, and any other tasks that the DPW is responsible for doing at the beaches? I feel like I'm probably not gonna find a policy on that flash drive that has specific schedule for this stuff, right?
Usually we try to have the stairs, well, first we take the barriers up before Memorial Day. I'm talking with a big opening top. So we should take them up. Then we go and put the stairs in after that, all right? But sometimes we have to put that variables back in if we have a storm or something coming. So we have to, there's no time set. I like to have them out by Memorial Day. Then we try to get the stairs in the following, right after we get the barriers up. Because sometimes we have to go out onto the beach to get the stairs in. We can't do it, you gotta go between the tides, because you have machines going out, and you don't drive the machines in salt water. So that's how we usually set them up. And then we try to have all the beach barrels out by Memorial Day, because we start picking up rubbish Memorial Day for that weekend.
Okay.
We also, if I may, we get a list from the beach coordinator, beach supervisor on locations for the barrels.
For the barrels.
Okay. And did she have any other input aside from location on the barrels? What else do you get from
She
beach
usually,
coordinator?
if you don't mind, Tom.
Go ahead, Jim.
She usually tell you, all the roads in Wrexham going out to the beach where they put all the movie mats. She'll tell us if they need to be filled in, if they're all washed out over the winter, then we come back we fix them so she can get her Moby mats and put them on.
She puts those mats out.
She puts the Moby
Right,
mats
so
on.
you're-
We just get everything ready for them.
You're grading and
Put the
smoothing
sand
it so
up.
that they're ready.
Yeah,
Okay.
yes.
And then lifeguard stands.
Lifeguard stands, she designates which one she would like out in what order.
Okay,
You know,
And-
So we try to set everything up with her. Then we only have one Class A driver, so it takes one guy. He's got to load them on the truck, move them, get a machine, come back down, unload them. So it takes a little bit of time.
and this was the problem with the
Yes.
South Street stairs, is
Yes.
that driver was,
Poor guy had a
Ill.
appendicitis.
yeah, is he better?
Yes, so that's why we got, as soon as he came back, we put them stairs right in.
Oh, he's
The
back,
following
okay,
day.
good. All right,
They're
great.
in.
Yeah, so,
Usually we have a couple A drivers, so one guy can move this stuff, another guy can have the machine to put it all in, and one day we can get 2 sets of stairs in. You know, it takes a while to do this.
but now you only have
But
one
we only
driver.
have one A, Class A driver. We used to have 3 of them, but they see different towns are paying more money, they're going there. So we get them the stuff, they leave.
Mhm.
Now we're trying to find them, but now you can't get licenses without going to school. And we're trying to set up some type of thing in town here, so we can try to get our guys all established and directed in which way to go.
You mean like a licensing,
Yes.
CDL driver.
CDL training.
Training
Oh, you-
course.
We're trying to get it
We're
in.
trying to
That'd
get
be
that
good.
set
Yeah,
up.
with all the requirements of the CDL
there's a lot
license,
of requirements, yeah.
is putting a lot of people out.
Yeah.
Especially when there's marijuana shops all over the town, and there's random drug tests, and they flunk. Because they 2 days ago, they went and got a little package, and next thing you know, they're doing the drug test. Now they're not able to work as a CDL driver.
Okay, so, so the beach coordinator sends you her information of what she needs by,
Yes.
like, when usually?
She'll give us a week's notice when she wants the roadways done. And, you know, we always had a schedule to put the barrels, everything up. And she just gives us a list what barrels where they want them.
You already have a schedule for that? For
It's the
did you say
Friday
for barrels?
of Memorial Day weekend, all the barrels go out on that
Okay.
Friday.
So
She
that's
gives us
on the
that
schedule.
list. Yes,
Right.
she gives us the list for that.
But that's your schedule, that's not on a policy.
No, we've always done it. Friday before Memorial Day, all barrels are out.
Okay, but it's not on a policy, it's not gonna be on that.
I don't know.
Okay.
Thank you,
I don't
Elsie.
know.
No, I'm probably not gonna see it.
It's
All right.
There's what they call a SOP, standing operating practice.
Okay, oh, thanks.
So,
And then, what about fixing the stairs? So there's a few, so there's the Monitor Road stairs.
We're waiting on parts.
Still waiting on that, so.
Okay.
See, they're aluminum. All the other ones are steel. So the guy that we have weld all that stuff, he can weld that steel. You need special time to do the aluminum, special equipment.
But the treads had to be manufactured, and that's what the delay is right now. There's 7 treads
Yeah.
that are being manufactured, and the wait time is ridiculous.
Okay, is there any solution to that?
Can't put the
That's the-
stairs in
that's
until
the
you
step
get the
you're
tread.
talking
Those are
about.
the steps, yes.
Right.
There's 7 of them that are missing, so.
Yeah, is that the one, I've seen a bunch of pictures, is that the one that it's aluminum and it has like bumps on it? One of the sets of
That's
wooden
always-
stairs were covered with like aluminum
No,
tops.
these are aluminum, all aluminum,
All aluminum. These
all
are-
Okay.
aluminum. So we re-supported underneath the stairs, put some extra bracing in there to try to keep it from flexing. so
On which
much.
stairs are those?
That's the monitor
Monitor
stairs.
road.
Okay,
So in the bolts that will hold the base down will have to be re-drilled in epoxy once the stairs are set. Once the treads are in and welded, when we reset the stairs, we're gonna have to realign the studs on the bottom.
okay.
They need to be locked in from the very beginning, and if you don't lock them in, you just wasted all your money.
Yeah.
who's paying for that?
We are.
What about, I did
That
see,
that shouldn't be.
We pay for everything, John.
So can how can we take care of that? I mean, is that,
I don't know, we can try twisting arms, but it doesn't usually get us anywhere.
you know,
I feel like
Fa-
that should come from
Facebook-
beach sticker money.
Facebook would take care of some of
Parking,
this.
beach sticker money.
Right.
Well, the thing is, if we do a good cost accounting, and record that,
Yeah,
establish what it does take, we would be able to, at least, as part of our budget, have a DPW beach budget that we come out of come out of the funds that are collected for beach stickers and parking.
That's a
And if they
battle
want
in
it,
itself.
Huh?
That's a battle in
Oh,
itself.
absolutely, I agree with that. But
I
the thing
can't
is,
get funding from
we,
my regular
shame on us if we
budget.
don't do it though, at least at times. You know? Either that or we just put it in our budget and have a line item, beach and DPW expenses.
yeah.
I mean, it's all tracked, right? It's gotta be all tracked.
We keep track of everything
Yeah.
we do.
Yeah.
So,
We just put a line item in the budget. Go for it.
Ask for it.
I'll be curious to see how much it comes to with everything. But, you know, so, what were the stairs that were reinforced with the aluminum over the top of the wood?
So
Do you know?
all the stairs on Sunrise Beach, they all had bottom 5 steps or 7 steps, I can't remember, 7 steps if it was. We put on the steel treads and risers on the bottom because of all the cobble that comes up and destroys the concrete. And those steel, even those steel treads get hammered every winter. So we've had to go back and pull off. Some of them the rocks get in underneath it and pick them up. So just before Memorial Day, we went through and pulled off and basically made those steps passable in Sunrise Beach especially. Then on Foster Ave, we didn't have those steps, but we had all worn concrete steps. So we built wooden treads and risers for the bottom 5 or 6 steps that got worn out because a funding issue, what we had available and how quickly we needed to get out there and do it. To redo those stairs, you're talking about, depending on how far you go, but you know, it could be $100,000 to redo a set of stairs. So, you know, it takes us a couple of days with a couple of guys that just to put in those wooden ones, and we think we'll get through the summer with that, but we've got to look at funding the repair of at least that bottom 5 or 7 steps. There's a number of stairs that are in really tough shape. We just built that seawall, but it's the cobble that really just chews it all up. And so.
And the ones with the rocks kind of wedged underneath?
Yeah, so we went out there, we pulled those all, you know, we pulled all the rocks out, put them back, or took that particular step out. It's protecting the concrete, and you know, we don't usually get a lot of wear and tear during the summer because it's mostly sand. You do have, you know, some cobble, it ends up causing some damage, but for the most part, that happens during the winter. But we got to make them safe, and so that's what we did. We tried to get that done before Memorial Day.
I mean, our seawalls are wet. And a lot of the seawalls are wet at high tide, every high tide. So I mean, basically, we're getting hammered. The issue is not, beach renourishment. We're being starved. There's not enough sediment on those beaches to really protect the walls, and you know, all this is cobble.
Right.
I mean, if you look at Hummerock, you look at Wrexham, you look at Sunrise Beach, you look at Monitor Road, that whole section, it's all cobbled, because it just gets hammered all winter long. And all winter long, every high tide, it's being hammered. And all that sand goes out, and there's no pump out there, a sand pump to pull it back in. If we were like New Jersey, we'd have a pump out there, pumping all the sand back in.
They do.
Florida pumps it all back in.
Yeah,
But we don't do that.
Connecticut does it. It's
Yeah.
in
They
Rhode
don't
Island
allow
also,
us.
I think.
They don't allow us to.
Yet.
No, yeah.
Right.
So there's a lot of sand right offshore that could be mined if we could get permission to do that and pump it all back in.
Agreed.
Mr. Chairman, if I may,
Go ahead, Ed.
Joseph Sevich, Wilson Road. The residents, it's funny you mention this, but a couple of residents have remarked to me recently they're having a very good year at Ocean Bluff for some reason. If you take a look at Ocean Bluff, there's a lot of sand on the beaches. And offshore, you can see several large bars that are probably moving in. So just an observation.
It's
from
true.
From the other day. They're having a good year for some reason.
When we were looking at the renourishment program, if we could mine the material that's right offshore, we could, we wouldn't have to truck it in, we could just pump it in. And when Massachusetts doesn't allow that, but the other states do.
Okay. let's-
So, my reason for putting this on here is that I'd like to see a policy, a schedule of, when things would be done by. Obviously, if there's a storm or something that's gonna delay things, that, of course, is understandable, but, if we have a schedule and a policy, and people know these things are gonna be done by this date, then we're not gonna have so much negativity, with people saying that things like the DPW has an agenda against this neighborhood. That's not okay. It's not okay. So having a policy and having everything kind of scheduled, obviously with, a buffer of time for problems.
If I may, right now, we have no seal in the budget.
Right.
There's no line out to seal. We used to have them, we don't have it anymore.
So,
So this is just coming out of just loose cash, or not loose cash, but remaining cash, residual cash from prior projects that, will get closed out. It's used as needed, and as appropriate. But there's no line item
For any of this seawall
for
or
these
beach
type of
needs,
things,
right?
no.
Right, well, and that's what Bob was saying, we need that.
Let me ask you, we don't need to establish a policy, what we need is establish a written standing operating procedure with timelines that the staff actually does. It's very clear of what happens when that. We don't have to, the board doesn't have to create any policies on that. All we have to do is what happens, when it happens, what's the standing operating procedure, where's the funding coming from, and go from there. So the direction from the board should be is, could you produce the standard operating procedures, how, on an annual basis, how you manage the beaches, and how you prepare them, and how you maintain them, on regular season and off-season?
Yeah, that's why I asked for the information, but yeah, a detailed list
Yeah, that will give us a platform for the town.
that we can work from.
At least we can try.
Definitely.
Give the residents an idea of the underfunding of the DPW.
And then having from that standard to add to what John just said, that would give us a base to go and make sure we have the resources to move forward. So it's a planning operation from our standpoint. But, the next step is to organize and the resources, the equipment, and the funding in order to make sure it happens. Because you can't direct anybody. If you don't have any funding, you don't have a plan.
Right.
Let's work on the plan.
And then these are the things that I feel like we should be sharing with the community. You know what I mean? Like, once we have that, these are all the tasks that get done, and these are the, issues or problems we ran into this year, and
What's underfunded?
this is how many hours it took and what, and the, you know, where did the funding come from this?
Yeah.
Well, there isn't any.
And to add to
Well, I
that,
mean, it wouldn't be said like that, but people
Yeah.
should know that.
well, the thing is, that helps us out when we go to town meeting.
Correct.
Right,
get the funding.
exactly.
So if we have a solid plan and a solid budget, and so here's what we have to do, and this is a requirement on an annual basis, we can establish the budget to move forward. Now, it could be funded partially through the parking lot fees, right?
Stickers.
But it probably never happened, but at least we go to town meeting and ask for the money,
Well, beach stickers too.
so. I mean, they sell more beat stickers than they have parking.
Fortune.
They do.
Yep.
Unfortunately, we haven't found a solution. I mean, we tried aluminum because we didn't want to transfer the heat and people walk up the stairs.
Right.
The aluminum just got destroyed immediately. I mean, they just couldn't hold up, and now we went to stainless. And the stainless still bend, but they're a little bit better. So we're thinking about maybe welding them in there and just not trying to make them temporary.
How come heavy rubber won't hold if it's bolted down?
What you adhere it to it, that's the problem.
You can't bolt it? Like,
No, the constant
the-
pounding of those stones and the sand is very abrasive, it just wears it away.
oh,
Oh, we can bolt them, but makes it more difficult to remove them and repair.
Because they wear and you
But
can't get on
if we're
this.
thinking of welding them, and then we just, we've been scrambling. and
It's an
trying to
engineering
come up with
nightmare.
something. Nobody's,
Yeah,
I mean, other towns, like in Hull, I think they try putting granite tricks down. Well, they get very slippery. They get smooth and very slippery. They also chip easier. And I don't think that was a solution.
And they move.
Well, they try to adhere them to the,
No, I get that, but they still move. I mean, the power of the ocean is unbelievable.
I just can't believe that steel is, 3/16 quarter-inch thick, and it just bends it like nothing.
Mother Nature.
so, all right, so we're gonna get a itemized, like a list and dates.
we'll work on that SOP.
Okay.
Okay, let's move on to the communications between DPW and residents. That's you, Ms. Jordan.
Yeah, I mean, that was really kind of what
We kinda
I said.
talked
I
about
really
all
covered
this.
it in the letter that I wrote, and then also, in this conversation that we've just had right now, using the beach
Right.
thing as an example of something that would be very valuable to share.
Very good, let's move on.
Mr. Chairman, if I may.
Go right ahead.
I just wanna- I don't know how many calls a day the DPW gets. I've had residents tell me about going to the DPW office or trying to call the DPW office. So that's the first thing, is I don't know if anybody's keeping track of that kind of thing. I know Tommy's usually on the point, taking some of the ire from residents and things on issues. But I also want to express, again, support for your Facebook idea, because I think it's a relatively simple platform to operate, and it does have the capacity for taking messages from residents. You don't have to allow commentary on the items that are posted, but you can accept messages, which could be compiled and, available for review. Of course, there'd have to be some sort of disclaimer, like, don't expect an answer, like in, 3 hours, So
Yeah, we'll
I'd
have
be,
to talk about that, I would imagine.
No, that's what Diane's gonna do. is
yeah, I'd be in favor of having a way for people to send in a message or a comment. That might be helpful, that's all.
Mhm.
Did you ever
Get that?
Just the same, I mean, Diane, I know that it's so time consuming, and for you to even offer to do it, it's so much extra work, but I've looked at comments that everybody's so grateful, saying, I'm so glad that you posted the agenda, because there's something I'm interested in. And so often, people are unaware, and you're not going to go look at a website just randomly because you have a hunch something's going to be discussed. You go on Facebook in the morning to see what everybody did the night before, and you say, oh, wow, there's a meeting on tonight that's discussing this thing that I've been wanting answers to. So people are grateful, and, you know, you're professional and you can speak, you know, you're not going to disclose some secret information that you're not supposed to. You're aware enough to know what you can discuss publicly and what you can't, and to be objective and informative, and people are grateful for that. In just a short amount of time, I've read tons of comments, and I'm sure you have too, about people being thankful for not having to go through these mazes to get a piece of information. The town website, I can't find anything there ever. Every time I go, I'm trying to refine my way from something that I eventually figured out. But so I think that the Facebook thing is up to date, and it's quick, and everybody is on it, and if they're not, their neighbor is. So I think that's the most, you know, efficient way to get information out to people that are grateful. So that's it.
Thanks. Even the trash pickup question, like, it's kind of a joke now. I don't know who here is on Facebook or not, but every other post in Marshfield, somebody will write, is this gonna delay trash pickup? You know, it's kind of like an ongoing joke now, but then somebody will always, you know, go on and say, is there trash pickup today? And post it on Facebook, and then that leads to a whole slew of negative comments. So, I mean, even that one simple thing of you know, a negative view could be avoided with just, that's one small example.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. We're all set with the discussion. Minutes were passed over, and now on to Tom's superintendent's report.
Yeah, I don't have a lot other than the paving on Forest Furnace
Which come out good.
is completed, came out good, yes, we're just waiting for the lines to get painted now. Marion Street, we did Marion Street. We're doing the lumen seeding up on Circuit. Winslow Extension, we've got to do a little piece up there. Surf Avenue, they made the connection the end of last week out on Ocean. And now moving back in the opposite direction, if I'm correct, on Surf Ave. Other than that, the Plymouth Ave pump station is ongoing with the design, and sometime in July we'll be looking at the possibility of going out to bid on that with construction start sometime in the fall.
Is that the $8 million one?
Yes.
Wow. It's gonna be
And the 965 Plain Street, we're getting really close. The floors are done. Everything inside has been pretty much completed. They're doing all the testing of the systems right now. Fire systems were being tested today. There's some conduit that has to go in for the solar array. We're waiting on the signed agreement with the town and the contractor for that. That's going to delay our final topping of the paving. We have to wait for that conduit to get in and have a temporary patch before we can pave. We're looking at a temporary occupancy permit roughly the 24th of July.
Do we have a conference room in there?
There is a conference room. It's actually, it's what we call a muster room. It's like the cafeteria, but it's big enough to hold our meetings.
And
So we'll be moving there?
Yeah. How many residents?
It's probably almost as big as this room right here.
Yeah. That'd be nice.
Pretty close.
All set up with IT and...
It will have the big
Zoom.
screen, TV, it will have IT capability.
Wow.
Yeah, it's, before the opening date, I'll take you all for a tour of the building. Lunch too.
Just kidding.
Oh, there's a stove and stuff in there, wouldn't there?
Maybe one smoke something.
Yeah.
Listen, I got one question, and I talked to Mr. Kent. On the guardrails, there's a low bid of, I think, what was it, 3,500?
30, I think it was 38 or 40.
3,800. It's under Mr. Bowen's, under 5,000. Let's just do it.
Yes, so, and,
Let's just get that thing done.
we will get it done, but I need to say this
Go ahead.
to you. I reached out to town council in regards to liability, because I was concerned that if I move this, that I will be liable for any safety issue, any accident that happens there. And I was told that I would not be liable, that the Board of Public Works would be liable for any injury or accident because they were given a letter saying that it was a safety issue, and that the responsibility would be on the Board of Public Works, and that the town would not indemnify them.
Yeah, let's just do it. I don't want to listen.
No, I needed to put that on the table.
That to me
I
is
needed
all-
to put that on the
That's
table,
fine. It's
John.
all BS from the town council. Let's just do it.
No, I just,
Same stuff over.
Are you talking about Green Harbor?
I'm talking about Joseph Dravick Way.
Same.
I wanted to make sure that I was not gonna be held liable for moving that. So I reached out to town council and asked for a legal opinion, and I got it.
That's his
And I'm just
opinion.
giving it to you.
That's his opinion.
That's his opinion.
It's not a CMR, it's not a mass general law. It's just an opinion.
Right.
Town council,
Right,
all right, it's just an opinion.
right. No, and that's what I'm saying, but I need to put this on the table in a
I
public meeting.
appreciate it.
Yeah, good.
No,
All right,
that's
so
why
now
I'm
we want to
doing
get
it.
it done.
We'll get it done for you.
All right,
I think the bigger problem legally is that it's not a legal parking lot.
that's correct.
That's really where the
That's the
legality
town's
issue
problem.
is.
Should be a parking lot there at all.
There shouldn't be. It's not a
Just
legal
close it
parking
off.
lot.
So dredge spoils as far as I'm
Right.
As
concerned.
far as I'm concerned, dredge spoils, just close up the entrance.
Right.
DSA, it's not a parking lot.
That's
I
right.
always associate it as the DSA.
I don't want to be liable for moving the thing, especially when I don't even view it as a parking lot. But as far as I'm concerned, close it off, it's a dredge spoil site. Period.
Right, I agree.
No, we'll close it off, we will, I needed to put that on the table.
Oh, yeah, we're not voting on anything. We're just having a
We're
discussion.
not closing it off, we're
Yeah.
closing off the illegal opening that happened, which is a danger right now. That's a liability. The old opening is a smooth grade going in, which is not a liability.
That's your opinion though, right?
Well, has there been any accidents?
I don't know, I
No,
haven't
there hasn't
looked at, but that's your opinion.
That's
right?
correct.
Okay.
That's correct.
That's not my opinion.
No,
All right, well,
So-
we're not
so-
gonna open this discussion.
So wait a minute, no, wait a minute. No, I just want to get this done, okay? So we're directing the superintendent to take the bid that Jimmy Kent has from whoever that company is, to get this done
we will do it.
ASAP this week.
I don't know if it's gonna get this done this week.
I'll make, if it's
We'll
all
make
right
a
with
phone
Mr.
call.
Reynolds, I'll make the call tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll get it done as quick as we can.
Yeah, I have another question about paving. Did you ever get Quincy on the
Yeah,
list?
that's
I
what
got,
I have to wait until after July 1st
Right.
as a
we're
fund.
gonna do it.
plus I got a hold of the contractor, I'm just waiting him to call me back so I can show him the stuff.
I've been
Oh,
checking
thank
on,
you.
I've been checking on that every
Thanks.
day.
Yeah, that, we have to wait till after July 1st for that.
So I just want to go on record that I'm against having parking there, period. As I'm concerned, close the thing off.
You know, I agree with you, Bob. It isn't, it's not a parking lot.
It's
it never was.
too controversial, the neighbors don't want it. Bottom line is, the harbor master doesn't, he wants everything, he's not getting it, and we should just close the damn thing off and call it a day, and it's a dredge spoil site, and we
We
need it
will
for the
do that.
future.
Yeah.
I mean, I agree, it's not a legal parking lot,
No,
What do you want to do?
but I don't know.
What are you gonna do now, so I know?
We're gonna put it back
No,
where
we're
it
gonna
was.
put it back to where you want
Okay,
it.
sorry.
Because we said if we get.
I don't want it, I don't want it.
We gotta get in there.
Yeah. What, the conversation, and, you know, passing through this whole brain, that we're gonna close everything off.
No,
We're just gonna make it back the way it
Back the
was.
way it
Back the
was.
way it was.
All right. With the understanding it's not a parking lot.
Yes, it's a
So that's
dredge
the town
spoil.
liability. They gotta stand in line if you wanna sue me. Okay? I'm very versed in the sense of sewing. That's my buddy down the end there.
I'm not going there.
Good, John.
There's a lot of things that I agree and disagree with John.
Well, what about the liability of blocking off the halfway of Waterman Ave with a chain? In the fire department, well,
We done?
John, we don't have to go there, this is out of
I'm
the...
good, John.
Meeting over?
Is this meeting
Motion to adjourn.
Can we adjourn?
Okay,
Make a motion to adjourn,
motion to adjourn, John.
Second.
all in favor?
Oh, no, you can't.
I'll make
No,
the
you
motion.
have to do it.
I know,
Yeah,
motion to adjourn. All in
Second.
favor?
Okay.
Everybody gets nervous about it.